What's going on? We are back. Season 2, episode 3.
Yes, sir.
We are back. If you guys enjoyed the last two videos before the season even started, hope you guys appreciate those videos because now the league is starting. Now we can get into the most best part of the Basketball Knowledge podcast. Alright? We ain't gonna do the intro. We gonna cut it. We gonna get right into it because a lot has happened in a matter of like a month. All right, everything happened in 1 month. This happened 2 days ago about the NBA FBI gambling. I got my co-host CP in the building real quick. My article is ready. He will be here soon. And when he gets here, I will bring him on. But for right now, we're just going to break the ice of the cake real quick. So if you see my thumbnail, it is Billups and Rozier being charged of NBA betting as far as gambling, using some kind of like technology that is very illegal to use when you're gambling. Apparently, they found out about it. So we'll get more into that. But let's go ahead and cut this music off so we can get that drink started. So can we just take a second to just kind of get a rundown to the fans as to what basically went down? Because I know some people are confused, but if you watched the one game, I think it was either OKC's game or I think it was a Golden State's game. At the end of that game, it was the Inside NBA on ESPN, where you know how Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and you know how they were all formers of TNT, right? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So and now they originally are doing ESPN
ESPN.
now. So they basically just gave their insight on Shams, the one who announces a lot of the NBA's stuff, social
Breaking
media,
news. Insider.
Because outside of the NBA, he captures that too, and that's why I follow him on social media because he gets to the real the real big stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is crazy because I didn't even know about this until like a day after, and then the second day, which was yesterday, that Terry Rozier was released because they didn't have no evidence. But did you hear anything about the FBI gambling? Like did you hear anything about it? Because I heard a few.
Well, when it broke, when the story broke, like right when they finally broke it, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was like, boom, you wake up, you got a current NBA head coach arrested for some type of gambling, even though it's poker. But I mean, you're connected to the mob and you're a current NBA coach, but that's a whole nother subject. And then you had a current NBA player arrested as well. With this current NBA player, Terry Rozier, he's been under investigation for a while. The NBA looked into it themselves. They cleared him finally, so that was shocking. And then all of a sudden, boom, weeks later, after the NBA cleared him, then the FBI, arrest him and charge him. And apparently, like you said, they've already released him because they have no evidence. So a lot of this, when it shakes out, I mean, it's still going to be a lot into this. So when things start shaking out, of course, we're going to get more news. I don't know about the Chauncey Billups now. I mean, this is a whole separate thing. He's in the NBA, but this is more of a poker, cheating people out of their money with sophisticated things like X-ray tables, X-ray glasses. These dudes, this is deep. You know what I mean? Invite people.
It's deep because one thing about it, I remember I was with my girlfriend yesterday, and we was at her uncle's house, and then they were asking about how do I feel about the whole gambling thing,
Mhm.
And I told him, I said, well, I mean, I heard about it, but I haven't got a chance to actually look at it because
Mhm.
everything is happening so fast. A lot of NBA games, and I'm writing down the notes about who should we you know who should we talk about, who's going to be the next upcoming MVP, the next upcoming this, and then I'm hearing about the whole FBI thing. I'm like, damn,
Yeah, it's
season just
crazy.
started.
It's crazy because Rozier, uh, like I said, he's already been released, no evidence, and like I said, that's
Yeah,
already the NBA already investigated him last season, and they cleared him. And then so I guess the FBI tried to pick that back up. So
yeah, because they
however
were.
that however that shakes out, he might ultimately be cleared. Like they've already released him. But the whole Chauncey Billups thing, the head coach, in case anybody didn't know, he's the head coach of the
Yep.
Portland Trail Blazers,
Hmm.
former NBA player, Hall of Famer, NBA Hall of Fame
Mm.
for his playing days, former Finals MVP, played for Detroit Pistons where he won a championship. And like I said, now he's a current NBA coach, and his is on a poker investigation. Like apparently him, it was a whole network that was tied into the mob families. Basically, they were running high stakes poker games, and they were
Mm.
cheating people by having, you know, X-ray tables where they can see the cards. They're wearing special glasses where you can see through the
That's what
cards.
they were talking about. I was.
Yeah, like, these boys
Yeah.
hit it deep, and like I said, they claim it goes all tied in with the mob. And a crazy thing is, I'm here in Texas. I'm in Austin, and right outside of Austin, someone got arrested. A regular dude that was tied into this. It was on the news out here. Apparently, it's tons of people, 30, 40 people tied into this. And
Right.
the guy that was arrested here has nothing to do. He's not a athlete or anything like that. But apparently, he's tied in to, I guess, supplying the cheating equipment, like the X-ray machines and the glasses,
Mhm.
and so this thing is crazy, man. It's real deep. And like I said, yeah, it's poker. You know what I'm saying? But on the other end, you got to think like, okay, you're a current NBA coach. All right, former player, current coach, and you're tied in with this illegal gambling scheme. Uh, that's one thing, but the scheme is tied in allegedly with the mob. So that's a whole nother thing, because the mob, I mean, mob, sports betting, this, that, you know what I'm saying, and the other. And apparently they're looking into him probably feeding the mob information as well
Yep.
on games, which I hope not. I hope not for his sake. You know what I mean? I hope that they just figure out it was just this poker thing. But either way, I don't know if he's going to get his job back. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah.
he's.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
that.
I don't think so. You're a coach. The whole integrity thing. This is a bad look, and I don't think the NBA is going to put a head coach back on the sideline that's allegedly tied in with the mob. But this is crazy, man. This story's gonna keep shaking out, and I want to know how deep you're tied in with the mob. And again, it's poker, but you're tied in with the mob, and you're a current coach, and the mob is all about things like sports betting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's one thing about it too, because I've noticed a lot of people do a lot of sports betting, and I get it. You bet money on
I'm one. I'm one, by the way. I'm one of them.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, because I know there's a few people
Yeah,
who does sports betting because and they get money from it,
yep,
but there is ways that when it comes to betting, there's like there's a legal way and there's legal way. So
right.
you can do it in a way where it don't seem like illegal, and there's ways where it can be like, oh, okay, this is not right. Now we need to
Yeah,
investigate this.
yeah.
So you know,
Apparent, apparently, Rozier, uh, they're claiming or they claimed that if you know what unders are, prop bets, anything like that, I'm gonna fill the audience in. If you're a sports better, there's things called prop bets, which means you can go and bet on certain players how they're going to do in certain categories, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you'll bet on a player and be like, okay, well, this player is going to have three or less turnovers. You know what I mean? So you can bet on that if they're gonna have more or less. And so apparently he was having people place bets on his prop bets, meaning, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a bet, I'm gonna tell my friend that I'm only gonna play 10 minutes tonight. No one knows that. So your friend can go now and place a bet that says, Terry Rozier is only gonna score 5 points or 10 points, you know what I mean, or something like that, because you already got the information. Like, look, I already know he's only going to play like 10 minutes, so he's probably not going to hit all his numbers that he usually gets. You know what I'm saying? And as his friend, I can take that money, I can take that information, and I can go bet. You know what I'm saying? Or else, he can feed information to him as well on, like, again, how many shots he might take, how many 3 pointers you think he's going to take, how many you know, 2 pointers you're going to take. Rozier can be like, look, I'm going in the game tonight. He's going to tell his friend, the prop is set at me taking 5 3 pointers tonight. Well, go bet the under on that, meaning go place a bet that says I'm going to get less than five. And Rozier
Mm-hmm.
goes in the game and he only shoots 3 times, 3 3 pointers. Well, guess what? His friend or whoever placed that bet wins their money, because he only attempted 3 3 pointers instead of five like it had it set. So he's been cleared again, but I mean, we got this thing is deep. You know what I mean? And tied into sports betting, I mean, we got to start to expect these things. You got all the major sports tied in with sports betting. These things are going to be more and more and more rampant. And you might say these guys have, all this money. Why would you bet on such a small thing? But some of these guys, you never know their situation. Yeah, they're making this money, but some of them are literally living paycheck to paycheck. I'll bet it might be bad investments, bad spending habits. 10 baby mamas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you know, all those things. We see the flash and the dash, but some of these guys are in debt. And you'd be surprised. Or and some of these guys be like, "Hey, I can make it easy $100,000 by having my friend place this bet that I'm only going to do this and that. Then why not take it?" All these guys are not LeBron James or somebody, Katie, whoever's set that super set. Some of these guys might be making $10 million a year, but they still betting and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because of bad money habits and different things like that. And then some of them, for whatever reason, might get tied in with the mob. And you know what I'm saying? Once
Mm-hmm.
you get tied in with the mob and things like that, they kind of got their hooks in you, meaning you might not even want to do the shit no more. Whatever it is, for as illegal bets or faking different stats and different things like that, throwing games. But if you're tied in with certain people like that, it's like hard to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this thing is just unfolding, but this is going to be kind of the norm. Uh, for as catching people, athletes, and the sports betting. It's been going on in all different sports since prop bets and sporting different things like that became legal. So, uh, man, it's crazy. But if you're tied in, if you're a league and you're tied in with sports betting, I mean, this is these are the things that are going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just say just for those who you know for those who are like let's say you are just now starting to get into the whole sports gambling. For future reference, just be careful how you gamble. Just
Yeah,
and that depends for anybody who's a first timer. Like don't go in there and then just get have the curiosity just just to gamble, and then something happens, and then next thing you know, you got you got FBI beating down your door
you
because
know,
you did something illegal. So
you just
please, all the newcomers who want to gamble, please be careful. Please be
yeah,
careful
yeah, man, yeah.
because um I got this photo of of Terry Rozier being in shackles. I had this in my phone for about 2 days. Saying that he was released from court after putting his six million Florida property as collateral. So he ended up being released. So when I watched the video on Instagram, with the FBI, person who was in charge of the FBI, he made a statement that this has been going on for about 2 years now, and he basically made it seem like there was no sort of evidence to keep the investigation going. So when he when they made the a statement where they arrested Terry Rozier, like you said, but they ended up taking all his belongings, like his phones, wallet, keys, like anything that he had on him. They ended up taking custody of it, and then in his phone, they ended up going through his phone and seeing a whole list of people that he had on that phone that was connected to the whole gambling thing, and Chauncey Billups was in it. So they ended up arresting, former head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, like my coach just told you guys.
Is he former? Have they?
Yeah. There's a few other people that they arrested. I'm not. They didn't give out the actual list of people, but I
No,
know
but I'm
Chauncey
saying.
Billups and
What?
Rozier are the main source.
Oh, but I know what I was saying is he hadn't fired him yet. I mean, he's still a coach. Yeah, I mean, he hadn't been fired or released yet. So that's why I was like, we got to hold up on the former. He's still a current NBA head coach.
team
So,
needs him because the team can't. Because think about it, like the season just started, so
but he's
like
definitely, in my opinion, they're definitely going to fire him for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they got another person who can coach that team, man, then shit.
He just hadn't been
they,
fired yet.
they can do whatever they want. It's the NBA.
It's like, yo, they cannot let a coach that's tied in with the mob back on the sidelines. So that's not gonna happen. If it does, I'll be really freaking surprised. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But anyway, like I said, it's a very gambling and sports has always been a very touchy thing. And then now, like I said, it's wide open with all the major sports leagues being tied in with all the betting companies. So again, this stuff is going to happen more and more. Uh, I'm waiting for more information to come out. Don't know if it's going to be more information come out because these two people are caught up in this, and maybe a couple other people's been caught in, but it's a very small percentage of people. Okay, so I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be, it's all kind of rampant shit going on in the NBA and everyone's sports betting and everyone's doing illegal shit. I want to stop there because people will run with that. They got to realize a league that big and everything's going on. It's literally been two or three players, and of course, again, this Chauncey Billups thing, the head coach. This was more of a poker thing outside of NBA, illegal
Okay.
poker. So we got to be, we got to differentiate that and let people know, so they don't think, oh, it's a league because people will run with that. Oh man, everyone's gambling, everyone's getting busted, and the league is fake, and how it goes, and it's scripted, and everyone, people be like, I told you it was scripted, and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
No, it's a couple players got mixed up in a couple bad situations that they shouldn't have been mixed up in, and that's just what it is. Of course, more information is going to come out, but I think, like the FBI does a lot of sensationalism. They sensationalize, this a lot of this, a lot of grandstanding. Hey, look, we busted this, and you guys see news reports. The NBA is a big league. You're gonna get a lot of coverage. Even if you listen to the head of the FBI, Cash Patel, uh, it was a lot of just grandstanding. A lot of information coming out, but I don't think they have as much information and as much, you know, things they need to actually push this narrative. Like, we busted the NBA for cheating. You know what I mean? So we got to be a little careful with that too, because
Yeah.
a lot of that was grandstanding in front of the audience, and NBA just dropped. So, a lot of politics come into stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
let's make this big story. The NBA just dropped, and we're gonna, act like get like we're going against and we're stopping the mob, and you know what I'm saying, and all this, and this league is tied in, and we told y'all sports was dirty. People will start running with that narrative. Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, that because I had a feeling. I don't know. It's just something really just told me that something was gonna happen. Cause I
Yeah,
know the NBA is full of drama. It's because there's a lot of outcomes when it becomes to certain players or head coaches, or it could be inside the NBA's teams. Like it could be, and then something about outside of the NBA that these players are doing. It's the same thing with the NFL, NBA. It could be any sport in general. It's just if a player is doing something stupid, it's going to get brought before the
exactly.
season even starts, or it could be
Yep.
brought during the season starts. So it's like, I mean, at this point, going into the next year's, once the next season starts next year, like
Like
it
this
may
story,
happen again. You never
right?
know. Like,
It's
see,
gonna happen.
and
That's in some form or fashion. It's gonna happen again, and not just basketball, but in all sports. This is not gonna stop. And again, it's a very small percentage of. I mean, it's these are leagues with hundreds of different athletes in it. You know what I mean? So of course, no one's perfect. It's gonna be one or two knuckleheads in everything that everyone does. You know what I mean? And in this story, unless some big names come out that's involved in this, players or some type of executive or something like that, or referee or just something like that. Otherwise, this story is going to go away pretty fast, believe it or not,
yeah, I figure
because
that.
it's not really a big. I mean, it's not really no big major. Yeah, you got Chauncey Billups. He's the head coach. That's big. But again,
Mhm.
that's involved in some type of poker thing. You know what I'm saying? But in Terry Rozier, I mean, your average NBA fan don't even know who Terry Rozier is. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it's some really big names and this that. If it's not no big names or anything like that, this story is gonna go way faster than it came. Trust me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's gonna linger a little bit, again, because you get mainly because you got a head coach involved and something that's involved with the mob. But other than that, man, this is really not. It's not a big story like this. You know what I mean? It's not a real big story. I mean, Rozier is not the first person in the league to like get caught up with these prop bets and different things like that in sports gambling. Just last year or a year before, one of the two, Michael Porter Jr., who plays in the league, used to play for Denver, now he plays for Brooklyn Nets,
mm.
world champion, won a championship with Denver. Anyway, his younger brother played for the Toronto Raptors.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and they found out he was involved in, doing dumb shit like faking points or throwing the game or placing prop bets on
Wow.
himself, having people put prop bets on him. You know what I mean? Like, hey, he was telling people, hey, the prop bet is for me to play 15 minutes tonight, but guess what? I'm gonna fake an ankle injury and I'm gonna only play like 9, for example, something like that. And the NBA banned him for life last year. And he
Wow.
was a fringe player. He was like a he was on a two-way contract, meaning he'd be in the league some games and then they'll go back to the G League. And yeah,
Oh,
his brother,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
he like Bronny a little bit, just like a
yeah.
two-way player. Whenever they need him, he'd be on the floor. Okay, yeah.
Javante, I think it's Devontae Murray I mean Devontae Porter or something like that.
Devontae
And
Porter.
yeah, Jonte Porter or something like that. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but yeah, they banned him for life, man. And this was just last year, and nobody even knows. It's kind of like Terry Rozier, you know what I mean? Nobody even, unless you really follow the game, you won't know. That's why I say, unless it's a big name, you know. NBA. I mean, the FBI is acting like this, like Rozier's the first. I mean, they just had a player last year they banned for life. Yeah, so it's like, and again, the only thing that's keeping this story alive is Chauncey Billups being, head coach of Portland. They're trying to tie it in like it's the same. You know, the media is trying to tie it in like it's the same thing. It's two NBA players, but it's two different situations.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. So um one thing I want to add to this before we try to capture a small hopefully we can cover at least a few amount of NBA before we end it off and you know, before we end it off soon. Um it was I'm gonna get my shocking moment on it because when I watched the ESPN insight on it, Kenny he was talking about how much of it's not a addiction when it comes to gambling, and then Charles, you know, he got a little upset because he's like it is an addiction.
Because Charles have lost millions of dollars. Everyone
Yeah,
knows
so
that
yeah,
Charles,
so
he's notorious, you know,
exactly.
gambler. You know what I
So
mean?
when I say that, I'm like, you know, when I heard him say that, and then I go and I read the comics, the comments of it, and then yeah, it's true. Like when you speak on addiction, that's something like you have a bad habit. It's a combination of you having a bad habit of, let's say you're out stealing something, like, and you do it so rapidly and you never got caught, so it's a habit, so it's an addiction. It's like if you know, if you can't get it, then nobody's gonna get it, so you're gonna go steal it, or you're gonna it's an addiction. So it's just everybody has their own ways of an addiction, and gambling is a serious addiction. So the fact
It
that you
can
want to
be.
go out your
It
way,
can be. It can be an addiction.
it
But
can
just
be.
gambling, there's nothing wrong with that. You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You got to put that distinction in there,
Okay.
because like gambling, you know, sports gambling, just because you like to do something, don't necessarily mean it turns into an addiction. It turns into an addiction when you have a problem, like, you know, this is with anything. Like if you have a problem where you can't pay for it, or you're going still, or you're spending all your
Yeah,
money.
that's
That's
true.
that's perfectly
That's
normal. People that gamble every day. I mean, gambling is not a bad thing. It's just like anything else. It's like some people like to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? On their off time. Some people
yeah.
like to lift weights. Some people like to enjoy gambling. So I just wanted to put that distinction in there. There's
Okay.
some people. There's people that gamble all the time, or whatever level. Whether it's me on my, you know, little prize picks or something like that, or the guy that goes to the casino every you know weekend and might lose, you know, 10, 20,000. But that 10, 20,000 is not hurting him. You see what I'm saying? He just
Mm,
likes to gamble. So I mean, you're gonna lose like anything else, and you might do it all the time, but you have an addiction to it, as in you like doing it, but it doesn't really. It's not a problem. Just gambling is not a problem. You know what I mean? So again, I just wanted to put that distinction in there. You know what I mean? There's some people that's just what they like to do. They might lose hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. If they can do that, it's not a problem. You know, hey, that's on them. You know what I mean? Some win hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You know what I mean? And but some people it could become a problem, and mostly it becomes a problem, especially if you got a real gambling addiction and you don't really have the money to fund that addiction. Like when you're gambling and you know you shouldn't be gambling because you don't really have the money. If it becomes a problem, then yeah, stay away from it, because if it becomes a problem, then now you're addicted. You know what I mean? Now you're going to be addicted chasing to it, because now you're losing shit. You're
you
trying to
gotta
get
set
your money.
standards.
It,
You gotta be careful what you
yeah,
do.
yeah. Just moderation. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
like anything else, some people drink, but that don't necessarily mean they're alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? It's anything once it becomes a problem, then yeah. But you know, let's put that distinction, as in not everything gambling is just because you gamble don't mean, you know, you have an addiction. You know what I mean? Because gambling is everywhere. And it's just You know, it's what you like to do. But again, you have to be careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So we pretty much just covered that. So we still got time
Yeah.
until 1 o'clock. Um, can we talk about so I know you guys, you know, just not realize that the NBA has started October 21st, and a, a lot has happened.
A
You know,
lot.
so can we talk about the first game? It was OKC and the Rockets. Can we talk
Ah,
about that second overtime? Can we so you're a Houston Rockets fan, so this is why I wanted to ask you, like, what was your thoughts, and what was something that went wrong with your team? Like what is something that they could have done a lot better in that opening run against OKC, because they had two chances, they had two overtimes, but I feel like there's something that they could have done to win. But
well,
I figure I want to ask you that. So what's your take on that?
I don't put too much into it. It was the first game of the season on the road. OKC, defending champion. They're getting their rings. The crowd's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets have new players like KD, a couple other new players still finding the chemistry with each other. That was their first game playing together, and we're also trying, as the Rockets fan, we're also trying to, like, we lost our point guard, you know, Fred Van Vliet, probably a month or two ago, tore his Achilles. And that's huge for us because he gets the offense, he gets everybody in the right place. And plus, he's a dog. You know what I mean? He can score, he can play defense. So now we're trying to, everyone, we're in a situation where everyone's kind of handling point guard duties, and kind of, I can see Coach Ime Adoka is kind of trying different things right now because it's early in the season. And we do have Reed Shepard though. He's just young and he's getting better and better. He's going to get better and better each game. He was a third overall pick by the Rockets in last year's draft, so this is his second year. His rookie year, which was last year, he didn't really play too much because Fred Van Vliet was ahead of him as the veteran. Plus, he's a young guy. I think he only played like
Yeah.
1 year in college. So, of course, you want to bring him along slow. We were hoping he can he wouldn't have to like throw him out there as much as he's going to play this year. But the kid is good. He's very talented. But you still have to just learn the NBA game, and he's still in the process of that. And as a point guard, you might be talented, score and doing all that, but you have to learn the NBA game, which he's learning. Where you kind of how you have to run offenses, you have to put everybody in their right place, and different things like that. That entails dealing with the game. But like again, Fred Van Vliet was a big loss, man. He was a huge loss. I actually think if Fred was out there, we would have done a lot better in the overtimes. But we learned it, man. It's early. It's real early. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I'm saying?
early,
Who knows how
so yeah,
things are going to shake out. But I like us. I mean, we're still talented. I think we're going to be right there. If everyone stays healthy, we're going to be right there. Houston
yeah,
is a very, very, very talented team. It's a collection of talent that's still learning how to play together as a unit. They start really coming together last year with all that young talent, and now we're implementing KD in the mix. And like I said, it's early, man. It's going to be a fun season. Man, it's a lot of good teams in the NBA, of course. The NBA, the West is loaded again. The Western Conference is loaded. So it's going to be a dog fight, night in and night out. You know what I mean? So some of these early games, you do want to win. You know what I mean? You don't want to fall in the hole too big, because before you know it, you'll look up and it's like 1 week left in the season, and you're jockeying for playoff position. So you kind of want to catch some of these games that you're right there in. You kind of want to close those out as well. But like I said, man, Rockets going to be right there. OKC is still a hell of a team. They're the defending champions. And young. The core is still young. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta have a hell of a team to go in there and compete. So, and we've done that and we've shown that. So the Rockets are going to be
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah, yeah, because I seen Kevin Durant's reaction to the Rockets being 0-2 because
Uh huh.
their frustration that they're not doing their job. They like Katie feels like he feels proud because he knows that the whole Rockets team is kind of upset because they feel like that they're not where they're at. Like they're
Right.
not, but and that's good. You should feel, but don't feel too bad. But it can be okay to feel frustrated. But at the end of the day, dog, it's the first.
Yeah.
The season just started. It's okay. Being 0-2 is fine. Like Celtics, they're 0-2 because they just lost to the Knicks. Like, what I'm
Right.
saying? Like Lakers, they're 1-1 right now because they lost against Warriors and then they
Right.
beat Timberwolves. It's and on top like my team, like my team is 2-1. We just lost to Portland Trailblazers. So it's nothing. Oh, he cut out. Uh, I think he just got out. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I mean, like I understand where they're coming from because like they had their expectations and they in their mind they felt like they can beat OKC and that's fine. You should want to have that mindset to just that you can come in and you come in and beat them, but you also want to be aware is that there's going to be some teams that you come across that are going to be a tough challenging team, and like
Right.
you just came off OKC who just came up with a big dub against Pacers last season in the
Yep.
finals,
Yep.
you know off a game 7 series, and then you're watching the ring ceremony. So OKC, just they are a really good team, and then for them to go off. Oh, dang it. I don't know why he's getting kicked out. Um, for them to, for them to, for them to lose because OKC is a really, really good team. So it's really hard to, you know, beat them. I mean, it took, but I will say this because it is surprising to see a team facing a championship team and taking them to two overtimes, and then you just come up short. You just come up short. But at the end of the day, it's more of like it's a learning experience. So you basically just take this and take your own two statement, and then you basically just kind of look at it as like, okay, look, it's the beginning of the season, so we need to really work on because one thing about we don't have a point guard right now. Our starting point guard is out. He's not playing. He's got an ACL pull. Hold on, let me see if I can resend my link. Hold on, let me see if I can resend it. All right. So yeah. And I consider the same thing for my team as well. For the Golden State Warriors, we are now 2-1. We beat the LA Lakers. And then we beat the Denver Nuggets in our first overtime in the beginning of the season as our second game. Um, you know, Aaron Gordon, he was shredding us with the threes, just raining threes back to back. He had 10 3-pointers made, had a score of 50 points, but ended up losing a game. So that just goes to show, and I'm gonna be honest. That I mean there were some kind of foul calls that I feel like were supposed to be called, and some didn't get called. So therefore, it all comes down to either coaching or the players or the calls not being called. But we can't get so relied on the foul calls not being called because that's just the refs nowadays. So it's like that. If they don't see it, then they don't see it. Your team can't get mad because they lost just because a play wasn't called. Okay, it happens. It happens all the time. So these are just one of the things where we have to understand is that the game just started. Um,
Sorry, guys. I'm back. Had some technical difficulties.
now you
I'm
good,
back
man.
on.
You good. So um, basically what I was just I was basically just talking about I was talking about the situation with how the Rockets felt, and then I basically just kind of chimed in on my team, the Warriors. How we came across the Lakers first game. We ended up beating the Lakers. Luka, dropping almost
Luka
50
went crazy.
in that game. Nobody seemed to help a lot. Just DeAndre Ayton wasn't making his shots. AR, just shined a little bit. It's just and
They're
then
top heavy.
hmm
They're a top heavy team.
yeah.
Meaning, they got AR, Luca, Braun, right? But then they don't have enough, or at least it don't seem like they are getting much contribution. Same old story like last year of the players that's not named LeBron, AR, and Luca. You know what I mean? So they're a top heavy team. They're going to need those guys to step up, especially DeAndre Ayton. I'm like Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Shaq after that first game, Shaq was like, he posted something to DeAndre Ayton, like, "Yo, brother, we need more out of you." You know what I mean? You're playing on a team with Luca and people like that, to where you should be getting free open shots and kind of, doing your thing down low. But he's not, at least not right now. So the Lakers are a top heavy team, man. But we knew that. You know what I mean? But you have Luka Doncic and you got LeBron, and both of them are, LeBron's older now, so maybe not as much. But Luka, both of those guys can still carry a team when it's like just top heavy like that, where it's like, okay, a couple guys, and Luka's good at that. I mean, he brought the Mavericks to the finals. You know what I mean? And on that team, you had Kyrie and him and a bunch of collection of other guys. So, you know, the Lakers are going to be right there, man. Like, and the Warriors, man. The Warriors are the Warriors. They still have Steph. Got Jimmy. I think keeping Kaminga is going to pay off big for them this year. At least
Yeah,
for this year.
that was a
Uh,
good.
And so the Warriors are going to be there as well, man. They know how to play basketball. You know what I mean? And they have a collection of guys that are dogs. They're a little older, some of them. So if they can get to the playoffs, the Golden State is going to be a little problem. You don't want to play them. You know what I mean? But again,
Mhm.
that's predicated on some of their older guys making it through the season and not getting hurt. You know.
Yeah. I was just talking about that too with with one of my girlfriend's uncles because they watch basketball too. I was just talking about it. No, I'm sorry. It was my girlfriend's dad. I was just talking to her dad about it yesterday. Um, Basically, because he was telling me that I just hope that Jimmy can stay healthy, and
Yeah.
that question kind of read through my mind a little bit. I'm like, well, I mean,
Jimmy
Jimmy can
stays
stay
healthy.
healthy, but
Yeah.
I feel like he wasn't suited for Miami. I feel like he wasn't going to get anything out of Miami, to be
No,
honest.
he was
He had
done with
that
Miami.
one good run in 2020, when it was him
Yeah.
against LeBron. That was probably the only 1 year he had a chance to get a ring.
Yeah.
But but fell short. So it's just there's gonna be some outcomes and incomes regarding you playing the game that you love. So the fact that you're playing with Golden State, you're definitely gonna have a variety of being healthy because knowing Steve Kerr is that he actually has some help for Curry and a few
Yeah.
other players because not only that, Draymond has another defensive, forward on the team. So
Right.
him and Jimmy are definitely going to be on that floor together at all times.
Yes. Yep.
So and then requiring, Big Al like Al Horford,
Yeah.
that's a big sign. So and then keeping Jimmy for a 1 year deal, like that's do you
Hey,
do, do you understand how that outcome is going to be? But the fact that you're not, but the thing is, because they said that he didn't play against Portland because I guess they don't want to play every game
who,
because
Al?
yeah because
Yeah.
I guess they want to keep him healthy.
Man, Al 40. You know what I mean? And I mean, no way you play Al every game. You know what I mean? You need to sit Al. Al should be sitting out like every other game. You know what I mean? And hoping we get him, healthy in the playoffs. I mean, that's a big pickup for Golden State. I actually had forgotten until I tuned into the game, and I seen somebody dude shot a 3-pointer, and they said Horford, and I looked, I was like, oh shit, I forgot Al Horford played for Golden State now. Like Al's still out there shooting that thing too. You know what I mean? I seen him knock down a couple threes. I mean, and Al knows how to play basketball, smart veteran. And for the audience out there, anytime I reference knowing how to play basketball, not just knowing how to shoot or dribble, actually the IQ part, you know what I mean, is what I mean when I say know how to play basketball. Basketball IQ is very high, very intelligent. Going to a team with veterans like Golden State with the Stephs and the Draymonds and Jimmys. Now you add Al. I mean, then you got Steve Kerr. So having a great basketball mind and IQ, he'll fit in very well with Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Speaking of that, can we talk about? I know my clothes isn't here because he would love to rant about this one. Can we talk about the big alien?
Oh my God!
Can we talk about the big alien real quick? How he demolished Anthony Davis in the paint.
My God!
How
I
he
mean,
terrorized the whole the whole defense.
what you do with it? What can you cannot do nothing with this man.
You can't you literally can't.
This
That man
man,
is a walking stick. That nigga can walk to the I literally seen this man do a reverse layup over at but the man said, boom. I
he
said,
didn't
dude,
even
aren't you 7'4"?
but his
Aren't you
feet,
7'4" windmilling like that?
his feet never moved. That was so funny though. His feet barely came up off the. He had to pull himself up to make his feet
Yeah,
come
he
off the
had
ground.
to pull himself up after
Like,
that, bro.
yo, this man is dribbling down, doing step backs, walking people down. You know what I'm saying? Behind the back, he stepped back, and this man is incredible. And speaking of incredible, man, watch out for them Spurs now. They're young, but
That's what I was saying, I'm like, dude, like,
they got some talent besides just Wimby, though. They're young as hell, but hey,
yeah,
and all you need is Wimby. They can win a championship right now if Wimby stays healthy. No doubt
if
about it.
if Wemby can stay healthy, and
No doubt
Stephon
about it.
Castle can stay healthy, not only that,
De'Aaron Fox.
they have another defensive player on that team because his last name is Vassell. I think him and Stephon Castle,
Listen,
Wemby, and the two rookies that they just signed.
Dylan
I
Harper.
actually seen that rookie play. He's actually the second round, the first round or second pick. He's actually nice.
Man, he real nice, and he can play
Nice.
defense too. And right now he's just concentrating on defense, but he's nice on offense too. So he'll fit right in. Man, the Spurs, De'Aaron Fox, you know what I mean? We ain't even talked about him. You know what I mean? And so the Spurs, man, listen, you cannot do anything with Wemby, and he like 7'7". You know what I mean? This man is incredible. I mean, I'm an hour away from, like an hour and 30 minutes away from San Antonio. So I'll be definitely going down and catch some games, man, just to see Wemby. I gotta see this guy. You know what I mean? I gotta see this guy, man. I mean, the league is his for the next at least decade. You know what I mean? The league is his.
Yeah, because that's why I definitely believe that this year is going to be different. I feel like a lot of teams are going to have their chances now because, like, think about it. There are at least 5 or 4 teams that are young. Okay,
Right.
we go with the Spurs, Rockets, OKC. Let's go with the Pistons, maybe.
Pistons.
Let's go with Hornets, Wizards,
The Magic.
Magic as well.
People slipping on Orlando Magic, man.
Orlando Magic.
They're
Can't
good.
forget about them. What's another team? What about Toronto Raptors? You can't say Toronto then. Nah, you can't say Toronto.
Nah, they still.
Because Toronto just signed Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, but that.
On top of it, they got Scotty.
That don't mean they don't move the board. They don't move the needle.
You know
they just nobody. I mean, they got what's his name, R.J. Barrett.
R.J. Barrett. They signed him like in 2020 or something like that. 2021.
No, just year before last. I mean, last year I think was his first year there. He got traded there, didn't he? Yeah, New York.
Oh, that's right, because he was with the Knicks.
Yeah, and then they traded him.
And then they traded him to the Raptors. Yeah,
and the Raptors gave him
along with Quickly.
Yeah, and they gave him a big extension, so he's happy because he's from Toronto. You know what I mean? So so he was He was like, we traded back home, and then when he got home, they gave him like $100-something million contract. So, but he don't move the needle for me, at least not right now. I mean, I know he's still young, you know. And then Brandon Ingram is another. He's not a winning player. At least he hasn't shown he's a winning player. I mean, you know, he just wanted to go somewhere and get his money, which I mean, I don't blame the guy. I mean, that's, you know, it's still a job. You're still trying to make money. But R.J. Barrett, Ingram, those guys don't move the needle. They hadn't shown to be like winning players. You know what I mean? They're players that can score the ball before as winning players that make a big difference on your team. They have a ways to go.
Yeah. Okay. It's 1:12.
1:12.
We can stop it here. We can stop here, and then we will pick it back up next Sunday.
Let's do it.
With more to talk about. I do appreciate you guys for taking your time to, you know, view the channel, view the videos, and, you know, get a second to watch it. And if you have any opinions, definitely reach out. Go in the comments, you know, type something in the comments, and then we can and then I'll look at it. I will put my link in the group chat with me, you and Ray, so you can view my, you know, channel. You can look at the comments that people are saying, and then you can chat with them in the comments. You know, that way we can stay tuned with the fans a little bit. But hope you guys enjoy this. do this live video that we're doing right now, and give us your thoughts on how you feel about the FBI and the gambling situation. You know
Stay tuned.
that happened 3 days ago. So it's still fresh, but this situation is going to die down quickly because the league and whatever is happening in the league is going to be a bigger problem
Yeah,
regarding this situation. So it's not a big situation. It's something very small that just happened.
yeah.
And Rozier just got released, so it's nothing to it. The investigation just ended, so you know we are.
Story's big. The story's big deal for is the news, but
Yeah,
again, in the scheme of things, the NBA is much bigger than this story. And like
yeah,
you said, the season just started. I mean, it's already kind of a non-story, and the season just started, and the league's much bigger. You know, it's going to be plenty of things coming down the pipe that's basketball related. So all us basketball fans, I don't think it's nothing we just generally got to worry about. It's not going to mess up the game. The league is fresh, young. It's probably in the best place it's been in a while. It's making money, viewership, young players again. Again, the league is bigger than this story, and and then it's a lot more to come. They're just getting started.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true because one thing about the NBA is that they're not too found about these situations when it comes to their players or their different offenses when it comes to different teams. And you know if it's in the mix of the NBA, then they will address it, but since it
Right.
was outside of the NBA, then it's completely out of their hand.
Yeah,
All they
that's
can
like a
do,
non-story already.
yeah, so like all they can do is try to investigate, and if they can't find anything, then that's all they can do about it.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I was telling my girlfriend's uncle. I was like, look, the NBA ain't gonna do nothing about it because
No.
all it is that yes, they had a head coach and a player who was involved, so they went to investigate that player and that head coach to see what was going on, and
Right.
they clearly didn't find anything, so the investigation got called off
Right.
because of that. So you should know by now that the NBA is
They're moving on. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're moving
they're gonna
on.
move on because the season just started. What was the
Yeah.
point in trying to stop the season just because of this? It's a
Right.
small thing.
Yeah, and
It's
the
only
scale of
two
things.
people that was a part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a contact list, but it was
Yeah, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small thing.
yeah. I mean,
Unless more information comes out with Chauncey Billups, the still the current coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Unless information comes out to where he was feeding information about his team to the mob, then that's when boom, yeah, this thing is gonna stay lit. What I mean, this story's gonna stay lit. But if it finds out it was just some gambling thing, poker wise, that he had personally going on, he might still lose his job because he's tied in with the mob. But it's not gonna be a big deal. You know what I mean? Unless again he's feeding information. And then that's what'll keep it alive. Then they'll do more investigating to let's see if anybody else is doing it. But usually again in those situations, it's usually just him. It's not a big list of people doing that shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and cut this music on. Hopefully we can get my co-host Ray up in the building next weekend, so we can talk more about more basketball instead of this nonsense. So, but if you have reached the end of this video, that means that you are trapped. You can no longer leave. You are part of the Basketball Knowledge Family Podcast. You are involved.
All right.
So you can either comment, you can like,
Do anything else, but you just can't leave. Because you
Right.
are not part of us. We are family. We are a basketball culture. We speak nothing but the truth. No lies, no nothing. And if there are lies, you can do your research. That's fine. Okay. But hope you guys enjoy this video. I will post this tomorrow, and I am back to making clips again. I will be doing that every Monday. I'll make clips every Monday. I make a video on Sunday. Every Monday will be new clips. And they will be posted on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is Amos48 on Facebook. Follow me on there. I post all of basketball clips on there. Instagram is air_King. Follow me on there. That's where I post all my clips. Basketball for knowledge. On TikTok, follow me on there. Same thing. Those are the 3 medias that I put clips on. YouTube. If you're doing YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you put on post notifications and you hit that like, you hit that bell so you can get a live recorded video. Okay? And have a blessed Sunday. Go Bills. And enjoy the rest of your day. This has been the Basketball for Knowledge. I am your co-host Aramis.
CP.
We're signing out. Wish y'all the best day. Go Bills. Peace.